pretty.
Hey Kendra.
Hey, what's your name, baby?
Hi, my name is Wisdom. Wisdom Sinclair is my middle, and then my last name's Henry, but I took that off.
Okay. You are very pretty. Where you calling us from, Wisdom?
I'm actually calling from the south suburbs of Chicago, so I'm about 30 minutes south of Chicago.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 24. I just turned 24 in October.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
So I work for the government. Do you need more detail? I don't
We
mind,
could.
but
No, that's fine. I know the
okay.
government people. Y'all be having secret jobs. Stuff.
Yeah, I do work for the government. Yes.
Do you have any kids?
No, I have no kids. I'm 24.
Well, okay. Well, that's good. I met 24-year-olds with a few kids, but okay. I'm happy you don't have any kids. What's your zodiac sign?
I am a Libra, but outside of me being a Libra, I don't know too much more about like other signs. I know what my sign is, but I'm not too into that. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, you're doing well in the appearance sector, so let's get to know you
Thank
better. And
you.
you look great on paper too. Wisdom.
Perfect.
South Chicago suburbs, Libra, 24, no kids, works for the government. What kind
Great.
of man? What kind of man you looking for, honey?
Okay, so I'm looking for a leader, first of all. I'm looking for a man that can lead me. I'm looking for my husband. I'm not into like just dating casually anymore. I'm looking for something really serious. I'm looking for a provider man. I have a long list, but I'll keep it kind of short here. A leader, a provider, someone who wants a family, who wants kids, someone who wants to take care of their family. I also want someone who's kind, but also really hardworking. And then I'll keep it short because my list can get really long. And I also really want a man like Christian, preferably, but like it's not a deal breaker. Like you were just talking about the other people who were on the show. Like I know what my beliefs are. Your beliefs can be different. Nobody can take me being a Christian away from me. So
Only thing I don't
that's
want to just add this. I do think in a family marriage it can be complicated because we have kids. So I do think when it comes down, I was talking about dating, but long-term seriousness, you may need to be on the same page because it could be complicated when it comes to children.
yeah, I do agree with that, but like yeah, totally agree with that actually.
Yeah.
And now that you say that you know, I
Dating
wouldn't
and marriage are two different worlds, but no, let's keep
yeah, I
going.
wouldn't want to raise my kids when I have kids. I wouldn't want them to be anything other than Christian. I
Right.
wasn't like raised in the church. Like I went to church, but like it wasn't like every Sunday you're waking up and going to church. So I want something similar for my family. So,
Okay.
kind of got to
What are
be a
your bill?
Christian.
Couple things. Now you said provider, so do you not want to pay any bills?
So with that, it's so I was raised, my mom was a housewife as when I was a child, so and my grandmother the same way. So I'm used to seeing women in a position of like motherly in the house. Um, I do work now, and throughout dating, I don't plan not to quit my job. But if I'm gonna be having lots of kids, which I do, not lots, but a few kids, I don't want to have to go to work. Like, I want it to be an option for me, or even to do work that is like something that fulfills me. Like one of the things I'm interested in is like opening a nonprofit for housing. So that's not, building that from the ground up would not be a traditional clock in, clock out, or salaried employment. So that's something I want the flexibility to do. But dating up until that marriage, I don't want him, like, I want him to be able to, like, I don't want him to be growing into that. I want that to be already kind of on the table.
When
And
you
then,
said
like,
like, so he has to already have it together.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. Okay, got it. So does he have to look a certain way?
No, I'm not particular on how a man has to look. In my past, I've dated outside of my race, both inside my race. I prefer black men. Um, but the most thing that I care about is someone who's clean cut. You don't have to wear like name brands. Actually, I prefer if you don't. I prefer someone just clean cut, looks clean, good breath, good hygiene. The rest we can figure it out. I'm not always the most stylish person in the room, and that's fine, but no one can ever say like, "Oh, she looks not put together" or something like that. You always look clean. So that's important to me. So look clean. Yeah.
Okay. What about money? Does he have to make a certain amount of money?
Yes, that's important to me. Like I said before, I do want a provider man. In my past experience with dating casually or even dating more seriously, I usually date guys who make a lot of money. I'm not into their finances, but if we had to go on professions, physicians, doctors, senior level execs, things like that, those are like the guys who I usually would date. That's usually for me. I'm not sure what those salaries look like, but it's not. I've heard women on here and men too, like say 70K, 100K, like it's more than that for sure. And I believe I know it's possible to take care of a family with less than that. A lot of people do it, but I don't see that for myself, and I want what I want.
Let's do. I mean, listen, you're very attractive. You have no kids. Let's do the Kendra Cam.
Okay, so before we do the Kendra Cam, uh, I see even already a lot of people already follow me on my Instagram. I was heavier, about 50 pounds heavier in the start of the year. So I did lose a considerable amount of weight. So the pictures on my Instagram or how I look right now in the Kendra Cam is not what you'll see on the internet of me. I'm much thinner.
How did
But
you lose the 50 pounds?
so basically, like a matter of like working out. Maybe I should step this way more because that's black. But working out, I traveled a lot. So in Europe, there's a lot of like walking that you do, that you don't do so much in like the suburbs. So I was walking a lot, moving a lot, and the weight kind of just comes off when you move. The weight got on me during the pandemic. I was just being kind of lazy, like a lot of people, and working from home. So I was, sitting around a lot, eating, and then, once the world opens back up, open your life and you move around again. So
You
yeah.
look good.
And oh, but I forgot to tell you. One thing that is important to me, the guy that I'm with, he doesn't have to be like supermodel handsome or fit or anything, but I do want someone who's at least, I'm not saying you have to go to the gym every single day or even like 3 4 times a day, but caring about your health is important, for me, just because gotta be around long to take care of your family, that's important. So I don't want someone who's too overweight. And if you are overweight but willing to change, that's great. But that willingness to change is important for me. So yeah.
Okay. Could he have kids already?
Um, in my past, yes, I've dated people with kids. Do I prefer it? No, I don't. If he does have kids, I have a strict rule, and I guess you could say this is a standard. No kids under the age of 5. I think at that age, you're still very much tied to the woman who you had that child with. And I just don't like that dynamic in my life, even if that relationship's good. Usually the kids are much older. So I'm okay with that. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. When was your last relationship, Wisdom?
So my last relationship was not this past October, but the October prior to that. So that was a relationship I had. I just graduated college not too long ago. In college, so it was like an on again, off again type of relationship, and it didn't work. He wasn't doing enough for me in the life that I wanted, so I had to put myself in a better position to get what I wanted instead of sitting around hoping that things would change. I kind of just have to go after what I want. So,
Okay.
yeah.
You don't have to answer, but I'm gonna ask. When's the last time you was intimate with someone?
Yeah, so the last time I was intimate with someone was actually like maybe a few months ago. I was dating someone kind of serious, but there was just issues of us butting heads about like children and things like that, and I'm not willing to compromise on like me having kids. I'm so young. I want kids.
Do you
Yeah.
want kids eventually?
Sooner than later. I'm not one of those like get married, have kids on my wedding night, but like I'm 24, so if everything were to go my way and not by God's plan, I'd be married by 27, having my first kid by 28, and then like turn around second 29. So yeah, kind
You
of
can do
soon,
that.
kind of soon. That's like not. I don't think that's like unreasonable,
I
God
don't think it's
willing. But
unreasonable. It's 3 years from now.
yeah, I was like, I think that's reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah. What is the age range you would date?
Okay, Kendra, I don't know of how the comments are gonna feel about this. I do not date people that are my age. So I start off youngest I'll go, and this is I don't even know if I should do this. I've tried it to go any younger than this, but I just don't see much success in the mindset. So I'll start at the youngest 37 and I'll go up to 50. And I know people are going to dog me in the comments for that, and I'm okay with that. But in my experience, I've had some of my best relationships I've had were people that were like 40, 45, that age. There's a lot more in common in the mindset. The provider aspect of things, it's not more of like a having to ask for it. It's just kind of there. I connect really well with that age. I've never had like things like, oh, you're so young for your age. It's more like, oh my God, we get along so well. I've never had like oh, you act just like a 24-year-old comment. So 37 to 50 is my age range. I usually won't go over 50. It's just a little, the conversation gets a little kind of weird there. But yeah.
So, okay, so 30 would be too young for you. You're 24. That would be too young too?
Yeah, 30 would be too young. Well, um, I'm hesitant with that. So 30 and he meets all the other I hate to say criteria, but like things I care about, such as being a provider, wanting a family, being already established, like those things have to be met like straight out the gate. If you're still like working to get it, I'm not interested in that. So if a 30-year-old has those qualities, then yes. But in my experience, from what I've done in my short period of dating, I haven't had much success with 30-year-olds meeting those. And it's usually like even sometimes 37 is like kind of wonky with these guys. So usually it's 40s that I can really vibe with well. But younger, usually not. But if he met those criteria, sure.
Okay. Um, so what are three things you have to work on, Wisdom?
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot of things I have to work on, but the three most things I have to work on. Number one, I can be mean spirited. I'm mean spirited because I sometimes my mouth gets the best of me and I will say things, especially when I don't agree with them. I'm pretty quick on my feet, so when I expect someone else to be very quick on their feet, and when someone's not, I can kind of say things that are kind of nasty to people. That's one of the things, and it could possibly take up two because it's really nasty. That's something I really have to work on. Second thing is because I usually date men who are a lot older than me. I am very, even still, I'm well spoken and I'm like well spoken, but I can be very naive, and that's something that I have to learn how to have a little bit more discernment. Even though I think most people have my best interest at heart, me being so young, I still think the glass is always half full. So I have to have a little bit discernment. That's my second thing, and my third thing I would have to say is that I have to be a little bit more upfront with people and not so people pleasing. I'm a very so I'm like I don't like to use this word, but I will for the sake of the conversation, submissive in some ways. So I do things to please others. And sometimes it works to my detriment because I won't think about myself or I won't think about how this truly makes me feel because I know it'll please my partner. And then I'll be sitting thinking later, like, why did I do that? I don't like how that made me feel. So that's something I do want to work on and I'm working on it. It's just, it takes time and I'm giving myself grace with learning, but also realizing and having a little self awareness is important. So, yeah, those are
Okay.
some things I need to work on.
All right. Do you want the guy to be in Chicago, Wisdom?
No, he does not have to be in Chicago. I have no preference on that. I'm not tied to Chicago. I'm willing to move where I need to go for the right man, but has to be the right man. And at the same time, I'm not really interested in like months and months of phone conversations with a guy. So if said guy lives in New York and he's serious about me, there should be plans to either him come to Chicago, like date, me go to New York date, just to see if there's an actual chemistry there outside of just living in my phone. I don't do that. So yeah.
She doesn't do that. She doesn't do that.
I don't. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I prefer even if the time together is short. I prefer just to have some time FaceTime. It doesn't have to be a lot of time or even weekly, but at least on a monthly basis, going out to see each other would be
Okay.
ideal.
And last question was, then why would a guy be lucky to be with you?
Oh, well, that's a good question. So God would be lucky to be with me because at my core, I'm a wife. I'm a wife. My husband just has to find me. I'm very feminine. I'm kind. I'm sweet, and I think the quality that I have the most, which goes kind of underrated these days, is I bring peace to like guys that I date. I recognize that the people that I date have a lot going on in their world outside of me. So when they come like hang out with me or date me, it's very peaceful. It's very like, let's chat, let's have clarity, talk with each other. And those are things that I think are very important for like the men that I date. So those are some things that I bring to guys or bring to the table, and I like them. So yeah, that's why I think I'm great. And then I'm not funny. I'm not funny, but most people say I'm funny, but whatever.
Okay. Listen, let's do it. This is Wisdom, South Chicago
Yeah.
suburb, 24. She works for the governor, no kids, a Libra. She did not give a money requirement, but she's used to dating men in high executive professional positions. 37 to 50 is the age range. If you have a child, it cannot be younger than the age of 5. You don't have to be a model, but she does want you to go to the gym, and she is a wife. She has no kids, and she's ready to for her husband to find her. Let's do it, honey. How can he find you?
So I did put my Instagram on the screen. So, and I see a lot of people already following me. I'm freaking nervous to even look at my phone. So, hopefully there's some good ones in there. I don't know how they could be good when we're just finishing, but okay.
Well, you're attractive, so they're gonna follow you off of your attraction first.
Okay. Okay. Well, okay, that makes sense. Yep.
And I think I will say this. This is why even on the app you can follow people. That's the difference in the dating app. It's really like Instagram. So it's like Tinder meets Instagram. But I think because we are a show, there's people, might even women included, that will just follow you just because now they're intrigued by wisdom in general. So you're getting people that are following you that are just now intrigued, saw you on the show, men who may be interested. It's kind of like the way the show goes.
Okay. Perfect. So,
Okay. All right,
thanks
will
for
you keep me?
having me.
I would like to hear an update from you once you have one.
I hope so. I really do hope so. But again, all in God's time, and it'll happen.
It will
Not
happen.
worried about that.
Some guy is definitely gonna snatch you up. That's for sure.
Hopefully, I have good feeling, and
Yes.
I've got a little bit of time, not too much, but just a little.
Okay. All right. Bye, sweet. Bye, baby girl.
Bye. Have a good night. Bye,
Bye, bye.
everybody.